Yeah. Let's go in here. So another conversation another question that came up was where do you like Bucky Irving, right? And there's another running back that's going right around the same ADP that I'm obviously in on, Breece Hall. And so Bucky Irving versus Breece Hall. Bucky Irving going as the RB like 10 right now, which is insane, and then Breece Hall going as the RB 13. And this is, I would say, to me, this isn't close. Breece Hall to me deserves to be over Bucky Irving. And what's the upside? It's, oh, what did he do after he got the starting role? Well, there was also a Rashad White injury that came into play there. There was also other factors. In Breece Hall, yes, he didn't look the same, but like I think to assume Bucky Irving is just going to step because you like how he is as a real football player, because he was drafted later and he was a surprise. Now everybody's saying he's got next, and everybody in the community loves Bucky Irving. But I'm not there yet. I don't think Bucky Irving is a 1,300 to 1,500 yard back. I think a lot of his 80 or a lot of his success last year was also built into the passing game. He was seeing a lot of receptions when Rashad White was hurt. And then even after he took over the role, that was a volume role for him. But I think this Tampa Bay team, who is also now without Liam Cohen, who also drafted receiver in the first round, is probably going to change their approach. And just, yes, he will get a lot of carries. But I think this is going to be a two-man backfield still. Whereas Breece Hall, yeah, they're talking up a three-man committee. I think Breece Hall has so much upside and potential that wasn't tapped into last year. With Aaron Rodgers there, teams knew what to do. The offensive line wasn't very good. They guarded the run game, make Aaron Rodgers beat you, mobility out the pocket. We saw a big season from Devontae. I think Breece Hall gets a lot more love this year with Justin Fields, has a lot more upside. I'm in on Breece Hall, especially at his RB13 ADP. We're forgetting who we drafted last year.
I think there's a really good case for Breece. I mean, you're basically getting the lesser owned of the two, Detroit coordinators that's building a much stronger culture over in New York. That's very apparent. You're getting a mobile quarterback, and we saw the success that happened this past year with those mobile quarterbacks and those running backs. And then you also have a coordinator that's being like, yeah, I told this guy when we got here that he was our guy at running back and is likely to be that true dude. What I like with Bucky is what I have been hearing from the coordinators of just like, we're going to be doing well what is going to be like at the end of the season. And that was Bucky taking over. And they're going to focus on what they do know they have success with. That's Chris Godwin playing in the slot. That's Mike Evans being a little bit more out wide. And Ibuka probably taking out Jalen McMillan. So for me, it's just more of like, this is a year two running back that I think a lot of guys aren't going to want to target. And more often than not, that is the guy that you want to take, especially when they're going that second to third round. That's historically been kind of the money area and price tag for these guys. So I just kind of like, all right, history says to do this, so I'm going to do it. And if I look like an idiot, I've done it before, and I'll probably do it again.
Shit, I'm the opposite way. I'm like, history, everybody says to do one thing, and normally that's the easiest player, honestly, for me to fade, is when all the stats and everybody starts pointing at, success for a player. I can see Bucky Irving having a good year. I think the price starts to get too high because everybody wants that season. Everybody wants to see the breakout. And a lot of times we overestimate. It kind of reminds me of Breece Hall from last year. We expect this major leap. He was the RB2 the year before. Pass catching was there. And I think the situation is so much better for him. When I think about this Jets team, right? Last year, obviously, you got Garrett Wilson. You have Alan Lazard got brought in. And, you start to think of, they drafted Braylon Allen. This year, who's their number two receiver? Who is the Jets' number two receiver? Arian Smith? Is it going to be Malachi Corley? Who's their number two receiver? They got rid of their tight end, so you can bring in a rookie tight end in Mason Taylor. Their number two receiver is a very good possibility is going to be Breece Hall. And to me, I just see that pass catching floor is going to be there a little bit more than Bucky Irving. I think in standard, maybe I go Bucky a little bit, but in PPR, I think it's very clear to me Breece Hall is the guy. So I don't know. And I think, where do you think he should be drafted? You think he's a second round pick, or you think because I got Bucky Moore as a third round pick?
I think I see the argument for both. Like he's just one of those guys that kind of drifts in that range for me. Like I think I'd put him around like 26, 27, something like that.
Yeah.
Not a particular priority because I just have other guys I like in that range.
Like who?
AJ Brown, if I really get stuck, Trey McBride, like I think those are kind of fun answers because the thing is, like, I guess I'll just say it. Like Brock Bowers, great, love him. Don't get me wrong, great rookie season, but there's a 6.5 win total team, and we're expecting a ridiculous level of usage for two players. That's a very thin bet, no matter how you want to play it. And it's just like Trey McBride. Well, guess who he gets to play in Week 17? The team that doesn't want to pay their defense. He gets to play the Bengals. And you're telling me this guy gets to have touchdown regression likely this year? Like, I think there's so many good options in the second and third round, and that's part of what makes Bucky so difficult. Whereas Breece, he's just mispriced. Like, it's very clear he is mispriced. So I don't know. Like, I think you easily have the better case between the two. Whereas Bucky is more of just like, all right, here's the theoretical correct formula.
He's the pick, right? Like the analytical pick. And I think you're right. The one thing that I noticed after like the top 6, maybe you can call it 7 or 8, is there is a very clear like cluster of players that are very equal and have equal question marks at the receiver and at running back position. And it's going to make for very like I normally I don't care what pick I get. I'm going to get my players. This year, more so than ever, I want a top 6 pick. Honestly, like I don't want a back end pick because I feel like I could pick Drake London and I could easily pick Malik Neighbors. I could pick Brian Thomas and I could easily pick AJ Brown. I could pick Devon Achane and I could easily pick Christian McCaffrey. Like I feel like these guys all have similar question marks to me, and that back end is going to be a lot of who do I want versus I think this player is better personally. So I think Bucky Irving, like you said, maybe the numbers say he should be there, but I think Bucky Irving, like there's more superstar power there for me.
I guess like it's kind of like Kyron to me almost. Like that's just what I'm expecting. The guy that just randomly gets a bunch of touches for no reason, realistically. Yeah. But it's like you said, I want that 4 to 6 range. It's kind of what I'm looking at right now for my reach.
You like 4 to 6?
Just because I think I can reach on a guy like Puka is probably who I'll reach on, just because like I want to make a statement and he's like my guy for this year. And I think that's just enough range where Drake London may fall back to me.
Shit, if you can get Drake London in the middle of the second, that's going to be a hell of a value pick.
That is the dream for me.
We had another question came in. Yeet Man was popping. What's popping? He said, "What are your thoughts on Evan Ingram?" And I want to bring up another tight end conversation. There's a range right here, and this is the older tight ends.
This is the money spot, in my opinion.
I like these tight ends. But it's kind of this mid-tier tight end 1 range.